Welcome to Public Account, where real-life nightmares come alive. Prepare to be haunted by chilling tales of the unknown, drawn from actual events. Lights off, volume up, and remember, these horrors are closer than you think. Subscribe, if you dare.
NYC UFO At Night. On the night of August 13th, 2024, at precisely 1:34 a.m., an extraordinary event unfolded in the skies above New York City. Captured on film by several eyewitnesses, the object in question was a flying, saucer-shaped, unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAP. It hovered in the dark night, its presence marked by brilliant glowing lights running along the cylindrical edge of its surface. This illumination was so intense that it lit up the area below, and at one point, the UAP emitted a burst of light in a downward direction, forming a partial, fuzzy cone shape. The object remained visible for several minutes as it hovered over a large commercial building, its strange behavior and appearance sparking curiosity and alarm among those who witnessed it. This sighting was one of many UAP reports that have come from New York City over the years. The city's dense population and towering buildings, paired with its 24-hour activity, have provided fertile ground for numerous UAP and UFO sightings, each adding a new layer to the mystery surrounding these aerial phenomena. Historically, New York City has been a hotbed for such encounters, with several high-profile cases that have been reported in the media, discussed in books, and examined by UFO researchers. The 2024 sighting, eyewitness accounts, and speculations. The August 2024 sighting, filmed by multiple witnesses, quickly spread through social media and news outlets. Some observers described the UAP as a classic flying saucer, with a disc-like structure that hovered with almost unnatural stillness. The brilliantly lit perimeter of the craft caught the attention of bystanders, many of whom were simply out enjoying a late-night walk or commuting home. As it emitted a downward burst of light, those on the streets noted a faint humming noise, though it was unclear if the sound came directly from the craft or if it was a result of ambient noise reflecting off the object. This particular sighting raised a flurry of questions, as it was unlike anything conventional aircraft could explain. Drones, planes, and helicopters were all ruled out due to the distinct shape, light pattern, and behavior of the object. The partial cone of light that descended from the UAP's underside was especially puzzling, as it did not resemble any known searchlight or spotlight pattern typically used by helicopters or other flying machines. The light itself seemed softer, almost organic in its diffusion, creating an eerie and surreal spectacle against the backdrop of the city's skyline. Historical UFO sightings in New York City. This latest sighting is not the first time New York has been the site of unexplained aerial phenomena. In fact, the city has a rich history of UFO and UAP reports dating back decades. One of the most well-documented incidents occurred on July 24, 1956, when several airline pilots flying near Idlewild Airport, now John F. Kennedy International Airport, reported seeing multiple bright objects in the sky. These objects were observed by ground radar operators as well, who confirmed that the objects were real and appeared on their screens as solid, physical craft. Despite numerous attempts to explain the event, it remains one of the most baffling UFO encounters in New York's history. A decade later, in November 1966, a large number of New Yorkers witnessed a formation of bright lights moving slowly across the sky. The objects were said to be silent, flying in a V formation, and could be seen over Manhattan for several minutes before they disappeared into the clouds. This event was covered in local newspapers, and though some speculated that it could be a military exercise or some type of atmospheric phenomenon, no official explanation was ever provided. More recently, on October 13, 2010, New York City experienced another high-profile sighting. Multiple witnesses across Manhattan reported seeing several silvery, balloon-like objects floating high in the sky. These objects appeared to remain stationary for a long period before suddenly ascending rapidly and disappearing. The event caused widespread interest, and the footage captured by local news stations and residents was scrutinized for weeks. While some skeptics believed the objects could be weather balloons or some type of promotional stunt, others pointed out that the movements and disappearance of the objects defied the expected behavior of balloons, leaving the mystery unsolved. Theories and investigations. As with many UAP sightings, explanations vary widely. Some researchers and skeptics alike suggest that many of these incidents are misidentifications of natural or man-made objects. Atmospheric phenomena, such as lenticular clouds, can sometimes take on the appearance of flying saucers, especially when seen at a distance. Similarly, reflections from city lights or unconventional aircraft, such as military drones, could account for some sightings. However, proponents of the extraterrestrial hypothesis point out that many of the objects reported in New York's skies display flight characteristics that do not conform to any known technology. These UAPs often exhibit extreme speed, the ability to hover in place, and sudden sharp maneuvers that defy the laws of physics as we understand them. In the case of the August 2024 sighting, the fact that the object emitted light in such a distinct and unnatural way has led some UFO enthusiasts to believe that it may be an example of advanced propulsion technology or even communication. Organizations like the Mutual UFO Network, MUFON, have been investigating these sightings for years. In fact, New York consistently ranks among the top states for UFO sightings, with hundreds of reports filed annually. These reports are compiled and analyzed by MUFON, which attempts to determine the validity of each case. In some instances, investigations reveal logical explanations, but in many others, the objects remain unidentified, classified as UAPs. Other notable New York UFO sightings. In addition to the aforementioned events, there are countless smaller-scale sightings that have occurred over the years. One particularly intriguing case took place in January 2009, when a group of people in Brooklyn saw a large glowing orb hovering over the city. The orb changed colors and shapes, seemingly pulsating as it floated silently across the sky. Witnesses tried to film the object, but many reported that their cameras malfunctioned, adding an extra layer of mystery to the encounter. Similarly, in 2019, a pilot flying over Long Island reported a close encounter with a fast-moving object that zipped past his aircraft at an extraordinary speed. Despite filing a report with the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, no further information was provided, and the object remains unidentified to this day. Conclusion. The August 2024 sighting over New York City is just the latest in a long line of mysterious encounters with unidentified aerial phenomena. While many theories have been put forward to explain these sightings, no definitive answer has yet emerged. The combination of high population density, advanced technology, and a rich history of UFO reports makes New York City a prime location for such events, ensuring that the skies above will continue to be a source of fascination and intrigue for years to come. Whether these objects represent advanced human technology, natural phenomena, or something otherworldly, they remind us of the vastness and mystery of the universe we inhabit.
Shapeshifter vampire. On July 6, 2023, a video posted by a user with the handle Infinite Varietyan began to circulate, captivating viewers worldwide. In this video, a man is seen seemingly undergoing a remarkable transformation, where his canine teeth elongate to a size reminiscent of those belonging to predatory animals. The footage shows him bowing his head in a meditative stance, appearing to concentrate intensely before this transformation occurs, leading many to question whether this was an authentic demonstration of a hidden human capability or an elaborate hoax involving sleight of hand and illusion. The possibility of human transformation. Throughout history, myths and legends have described humans exhibiting animal-like features, particularly in stories of werewolves, vampires, and other creatures with extraordinary abilities. While these stories are often relegated to the realm of fiction, some proponents argue that humans may have untapped biological potential to change certain features, possibly as a result of evolutionary remnants. The idea that someone could transform their body in this way raises interesting questions about the limits of human biology and how much control we may exert over our physical forms. Evolutionarily speaking, humans share a significant portion of their genetic code with other mammals. In fact, we are closely related to primates and even have distant common ancestors with canines. Some biologists speculate that dormant genes within our DNA might hold the key to features like retractable claws, heightened senses, or elongated teeth, though science has yet to uncover a method to activate these traits. The phenomenon displayed in the video could also be explained as an ability to manipulate one's body consciously. There are known cases of individuals who have extraordinary control over their physical features, such as yogis who can slow their heart rates, hold their breath for extended periods, or contort their bodies into seemingly impossible shapes. However, elongating canine teeth is a much more extreme concept that has yet to be verified by modern science. Speculative abilities beyond teeth. If the human body could potentially transform to elongate canine teeth, what other transformations could be possible? Some speculate that humans could theoretically grow claws, wings, or even scales. The idea that such features could be activated through mental focus or meditation, as seen in the video, ties into theories about the untapped power of the human mind. Some have suggested that advanced levels of consciousness might allow individuals to access genetic potential that remains dormant in the majority of the population. One potential avenue for this exploration involves the field of epigenetics. Epigenetics refers to changes in organisms caused by modifications in gene expression, rather than alterations in the DNA sequence itself. It is theorized that under certain environmental stimuli or mental conditioning, individuals could turn on certain traits that are not usually expressed. In the case of the man in the video, the meditative process he undergoes may suggest a mental unlocking of physical potential. While the current consensus in the scientific community is that such transformations remain highly improbable, researchers continue to explore the limits of human adaptability and the role of consciousness in shaping the body. Perhaps in the future, this area of inquiry could uncover surprising truths about what humans are truly capable of. The role of illusion and sleight of hand. More skeptical interpretations of the video propose that the transformation is nothing more than an elaborate illusion. Throughout history, magicians and illusionists have perfected techniques that make the impossible seem real. The act of sleight of hand, along with misdirection, can create astounding effects that trick the eye and baffle even the most astute observers. In this context, the man's canine teeth transformation could have been a well-orchestrated performance designed to deceive the audience into believing he had extraordinary abilities. Magicians, particularly those who specialize in body magic, often use prosthetics, hidden mechanisms, and subtle hand movements to manipulate their appearance. In this case, the man in the video could be using concealed fake teeth, activated by a slight hand gesture during his meditative posture. The audience's attention would be focused on his head bowing and meditative concentration, allowing for the prosthetics to slip into place unnoticed. There are documented instances of illusionists using similar methods to create the appearance of bodily transformations. For example, contortionists and escape artists often employ misdirection, to make it appear as though their bodies can fit through impossibly small spaces or dislocate bones at will. In the same vein, the man in the video could be using timed prosthetics to elongate his teeth without the audience realizing how the trick was done. Real-world accounts of transformations. Historical accounts of supposed human-animal transformations abound in folklore, particularly in cultures that harbor legends of shapeshifters. Werewolf stories, for instance, speak of men who could transform into wolves, often during moments of great emotional or physical stress. Similarly, the legends of the vampire often feature individuals who could lengthen their fangs at will to feed on human blood. Interestingly, there have been modern accounts in newspapers, non-fiction books, and on internet websites where individuals have claimed to exhibit such abilities. One notable example occurred in the early 1900s, when newspapers in rural parts of Europe reported sightings of individuals who allegedly transformed into animals during full moons. These stories, while largely regarded as fiction or exaggeration, nonetheless captivated the public imagination and fueled speculation about the potential for human transformation. In more recent times, forums dedicated to paranormal phenomena and cryptozoology have featured stories from individuals who claim to possess the ability to exhibit animal traits. These self-reported cases often involve slight bodily changes such as sharpened teeth, extended nails, or heightened senses. While these stories lack scientific verification, they speak to the enduring fascination with the idea that humans may be capable of physical metamorphosis under the right conditions. The influence of the internet and viral videos. With the rise of social media, videos purporting to show real-life transformations have become increasingly common. Websites like YouTube and TikTok are filled with clips of individuals who claim to have transformed their bodies, though many of these are later debunked as clever editing, special effects, or illusions. In the case of the video posted by Infinite Variety, the medium of the internet itself could be playing a role in its virality. People are naturally curious about the supernatural and are drawn to videos that challenge the boundaries of what is possible. As the video continues to circulate, it adds to the growing repository of online content that blurs the line between reality and fiction. Whether the transformation in the video is genuine or a trick, it has succeeded in capturing the imagination of its viewers. Conclusion.
The video showing a man apparently transforming his canine teeth is a modern reminder of humanity's enduring fascination with the supernatural and unexplained. Whether this transformation is a biological anomaly, the result of intense mental focus, or simply an illusion involving sleight of hand, the public's reaction highlights our continued desire to explore the boundaries of human potential. While science has yet to confirm the possibility of human transformation in this way, the growing number of viral videos, combined with historical accounts and speculative theories, suggests that the subject is far from closed. Immortal Shapeshifter. In late July 2023, a video uploaded to TikTok by the account UFO Video SDK took the internet by storm, amassing millions of views and sparking intense discussion. The video, posted on July 28th, depicted what many claimed to be an encounter with an immortal shapeshifter, a figure rooted in ancient folklore, particularly that of Japan. The video incident. The video begins innocently enough, showing a group of friends enjoying a night out, presumably at a restaurant. They laugh, eat, and chat, completely unaware of the bizarre event soon to unfold. However, a pale woman is barely visible in the background of the frame, seated alone at a distance. Her presence is unremarkable at first, yet she is later highlighted as central to the video's eerie narrative. As the night progresses, the group begins to detect an unusual nauseating stench. It is described as sickly sweet and rotten, the type of smell that raises alarm rather than curiosity. Looking around, the group starts to suspect that the odor might be emanating from the pale woman. Though her appearance doesn't initially seem menacing, just ghostly pale and perhaps out of place, the group's discomfort builds. The video later cuts to them at a train station, having left the restaurant presumably to escape the strange woman and the unsettling smell. But to their shock, the same pale figure reappears at the train station. She waves at them from across the platform, a gesture that feels unnatural and ominous. Suddenly, she steps off the edge of the platform as a train hurtles toward her. What happens next is the most chilling part of the video. The group gasps in horror as they witness what they believe to be the woman's violent death, an apparent suicide by train. But the terror doesn't end there. In the final moments of the video, the woman is seen peeking up at them from the train tracks, alive and untouched. She appears unscathed, defying logic and shattering the group's already fragile sense of reality. The Shapeshifter legend. Though it may seem like a modern horror story, the concept of shapeshifters has long been a fixture of mythology and folklore, especially in Japan. In Japanese culture, tales of yokai, supernatural entities, are deeply ingrained, and many of these creatures are known to change forms. Among the most famous shapeshifters are the kitsune, fox spirits, and tanuki, raccoon dogs, which are capable of assuming human appearances to deceive or trick humans. However, there are lesser-known tales of other shapeshifters, often more sinister in nature. These beings, sometimes referred to as muona, silent women, or ubum, ghostly mothers, often appear as pale women in distress, resembling humans in form but with characteristics that reveal their supernatural nature. They are said to haunt specific areas or people, capable of regenerating after death, much like the woman in the TikTok video. Historical accounts and speculation. The idea of shapeshifters, particularly immortal ones, has fascinated people for centuries. There have been accounts, often relayed in historical newspapers, that eerily align with the incident captured in the TikTok video. In a 19th century Japanese newspaper, for instance, there is a story of a pale woman who was seen wandering the streets of Edo, modern-day Tokyo. She was reportedly run over by a cart, but was later seen walking the same streets the following day, uninjured and without a scratch. Similarly, in non-fiction books and folklore anthologies, there are recurring themes of ghostly women who appear in tragic or horrific circumstances, only to re-emerge later as if nothing had happened. These stories often feature women who are pale, expressionless, and appear sickly, traits that match the woman in the viral video. Could this TikTok video be the latest encounter with one of these immortal entities? Shapeshifters and their connection to smell. One intriguing detail from the TikTok video is the nauseating smell that the group experienced. This is not an uncommon feature in accounts of supernatural beings. In many cultures, malevolent entities are often associated with foul odors, believed to be an indication of their unclean or corrupted nature. In Japanese lore, this foul stench could be a clue to the woman's true nature as something beyond human, a being that exists on the fringes of life and death. The scent also brings to mind the traditional Japanese belief in yurei, restless spirits. In many stories, yurei are said to carry the scent of death, which is particularly nauseating to the living. This aligns with the idea that the woman in the video might not be a living human, but a supernatural entity, possibly a shapeshifter or a yurei, manifesting to haunt or torment the living. The nature of immortality in Japanese folklore. Shapeshifters in Japanese folklore are often portrayed as beings capable of eternal life, though not always as a gift or blessing. Many of these creatures, including the kitsune and tanuki, gain their immortality through spiritual or magical means, but are often cursed to live out their lives in cycles of suffering or loneliness. The pale woman in the video could represent this type of being, immortal, but trapped in a ceaseless existence where death is just a temporary state. The concept of immortality in Japan is also intertwined with a sense of melancholy and loss. Immortal beings are frequently portrayed as detached from the human experience, doomed to wander the earth, neither fully alive nor fully dead. This could explain the woman's odd behavior, from her unnerving wave to her sudden reappearance on the train tracks after what should have been her death. Speculation: could it be a hoax? While the video has captured the imagination of many, some viewers have questioned its authenticity. Could the woman be a skilled performance artist? Or perhaps the footage was edited to create the illusion of a supernatural event? These are valid questions, especially in the age of digital manipulation, where creating viral content is easier than ever. Still, there's something compelling about the video, particularly when viewed in the context of Japan's long history with shapeshifters and other supernatural entities. Whether or not the woman in the TikTok video is truly an immortal shapeshifter, the incident taps into deep-seated fears and beliefs that have persisted across cultures for centuries. Conclusion: the TikTok video posted by UFO Videoisti has reignited interest in the ancient legends of shapeshifters, particularly those from Japan. While the video itself may or may not be a genuine supernatural encounter, it serves as a modern reminder of how these age-old myths continue to captivate and haunt us. The pale woman, whether an immortal being or a clever fabrication, leaves behind an unsettling question: how much of the world around us is truly as it seems? Shapeshifter in a Japanese elevator. A video posted on TikTok by user Morphintim69 on February 15, 2023, has sparked widespread speculation and intrigue across social media platforms. The video, which purportedly captures footage of a shapeshifter in an elevator in Japan, has been viewed millions of times, with viewers expressing both disbelief and fascination. In the clip, a woman is seen standing in the elevator, and as the footage progresses, subtle but unmistakable changes in her appearance begin to take place. Most notably, the part in her hair slowly fades, giving way to a full head of hair that no longer matches her original appearance. Her hairline changes in a way that many viewers found unsettling, and as it does, her facial features also seem to shift. Her once feminine features gradually become more masculine and pronounced, leaving viewers wondering whether they had witnessed a real shape-shifting event or a clever digital manipulation. The nature of shape-shifting in Japanese folklore. Shape-shifting is not a new concept in Japan. It has deep roots in the country's folklore and mythology. Historically, Japan has had a rich tradition of stories involving human-animal shapeshifters, particularly involving creatures like the kitsune, fox, and tanuki, raccoon dog. These mythical beings are known for their ability to transform into humans or other creatures, often using their powers for trickery or, in some cases, benevolence. The kitsune, or fox, is perhaps the most famous of these shapeshifters. In Japanese folklore, foxes are intelligent beings with magical abilities, and one of their most well-known powers is the ability to assume human form. It is said that they can become beautiful women, beguiling men, and even forming relationships with them. Some legends suggest that foxes become more powerful as they age, with some gaining up to 9 tails, each one a symbol of their increasing wisdom and magical prowess. Another well-known shapeshifter, in Japanese culture is the tanuki, a mischievous creature known for its trickster nature. Unlike the more graceful and sometimes malevolent kitsune, the tanuki is generally portrayed as a playful, bumbling creature that uses its shape-shifting powers for pranks. In many stories, the tanuki transforms into humans, particularly monks or other respected figures, to trick people into giving them food or money. While much of the focus in Japanese folklore is on animal-to-human transformations, there have also been long-standing rumors of actual human shapeshifters. These stories typically involve individuals who possess the supernatural ability to alter their appearance at will, often for nefarious purposes. Unlike the kitsune or tanuki, these human shapeshifters are not mythical creatures, but real people who are believed to have developed these powers through secret knowledge or spiritual practices. Modern accounts of human shapeshifting in Japan. In modern times, the idea of human shapeshifters has been further fueled by urban legends, conspiracy theories, and a growing interest in the paranormal. Numerous reports have surfaced over the years, with people claiming to have encountered individuals who seemingly altered their appearance before their eyes. Such stories have appeared in newspapers, books, and even internet forums dedicated to paranormal activity. One famous case reported in the early 2000s involved a businessman in Tokyo who claimed that his co-worker's appearance had changed dramatically over a series of days. According to his account, the co-worker, a woman in her mid-30s, began to display subtle but undeniable shifts in her physical appearance. Her facial features, once delicate and feminine, became sharper and more angular, while her voice grew deeper. When confronted, the woman reportedly laughed off the observation, but over the next few days, her appearance continued to shift. Eventually, the businessman claimed that the woman had completely vanished from the company, leaving no trace of her previous employment. Another account comes from the rural town of Shirakawa, where locals have long whispered about a family believed to be capable of shape-shifting. According to an article published in a local magazine in 2011, several generations of this family were rumored to have the ability to change their appearance at will. The article recounted the story of a young woman who had been courted by a man who frequently appeared to her in different guises. Sometimes he would look like a charming young gentleman, while other times his face would appear older and more weathered. When the woman questioned him about his changing appearance, he would simply smile and say, "Looks are deceiving." Eventually, the man disappeared, and locals believed he had used his powers to escape after tiring of the relationship. In more recent years, internet forums and websites dedicated to paranormal phenomena have reported numerous instances of alleged human shapeshifting in Japan. These accounts range from subtle changes in physical appearance, much like the woman in the elevator video, to more dramatic transformations that defy explanation. Some posters claim to have witnessed people change their hair color, facial structure, and even height in the span of seconds, often in crowded public spaces like subways or shopping centers. The TikTok video, fact or fiction? Given Japan's rich history of shape-shifting folklore and modern-day reports of mysterious transformations, it is perhaps not surprising that the TikTok video of the woman in the elevator has captured the public's imagination. However, the question remains: is this video evidence of a real shape-shifting event, or is it simply a clever hoax designed to play on viewers' fears and curiosity? Some skeptics have pointed out that the changes in the woman's appearance could easily have been achieved through digital manipulation. With the increasing sophistication of video editing software, it is entirely possible that the shifting hairline and facial features were added in post-production. Others have suggested that the video may have been part of a viral marketing campaign or an attempt to gain views and followers on TikTok by tapping into the public's fascination with the supernatural. On the other hand, some viewers believe that the video shows something genuinely unexplainable. They point to the subtle nature of the changes, noting that the transformation is gradual and does not appear to have the hallmarks of typical video manipulation. Additionally, the video's location, an elevator in Japan, adds an air of authenticity, as Japan has long been associated with paranormal phenomena and mysterious events. While it is impossible to say definitively whether the woman in the elevator is a shapeshifter or the video is merely a hoax, the story has reignited interest in the concept of human shapeshifting. As more people share their own accounts of similar phenomena, it seems that the line between folklore and reality continues to blur. The fascination with shapeshifters. The enduring appeal of shapeshifting, both in Japan and around the world, likely stems from the deeper psychological and cultural implications of the phenomenon. Shapeshifting represents the ability to transcend the limitations of the human body, to become something or someone else. In a world where identity is often fixed, the idea that a person can change their appearance at will speaks to a deep-seated desire for freedom and transformation. In the end, whether the video of the woman in the elevator is real or not may be less important than the conversations it has sparked. Shapeshifters, both in myth and in modern accounts, continue to captivate our imagination, challenging our perceptions of reality and reminding us that there may be more to the world than meets the eye. Elderly ghost. On July 20th, 2024, a TikTok user by the handle elmedalia31 shared a video that quickly went viral, stirring both fascination and fear among its viewers. The video captures a seemingly ordinary scene: children playing and napping in a bedroom, presumably during a sleepover. At first glance, everything appears normal, innocent, and unassuming. But as the camera pans across the room, an eerie discovery takes center stage, unsettling anyone who watches closely. To the left of the room sits a large, wooden cabinet, a standard piece of furniture designed to hold dishes and other household items. What should be nothing more than a mundane fixture becomes the focal point of the entire video. As the camera zooms in, something unexpected becomes visible in the top left corner of the cabinet, a faint yet distinct image of an elderly woman smiling warmly. It isn't merely a trick of the light. Her features are clear enough to send shivers down the spines of viewers, leaving them wondering whether the woman is an apparition or simply a reflection. In the days following the video's release, comments and theories flooded the post, with many viewers speculating that the elderly woman in the cabinet was a ghost. Some users suggested she might be a deceased relative of the family, manifesting to watch over the children. Others believed it could be a spirit tied to the home itself, an entity that had lingered for reasons unknown. While such appearances might seem coincidental or fabrications to skeptics, there is an extensive history of children seeing the ghosts of relatives or other specters in homes around the world. These accounts are widely documented in newspapers, non-fiction books, and numerous online forums dedicated to paranormal phenomena. Historical and contemporary accounts of children seeing ghosts. Stories of children witnessing ghosts, particularly those of deceased relatives, are not uncommon. In fact, some researchers suggest that children are more attuned to the paranormal than adults, likely because their minds are more open and less hindered by skepticism. According to various accounts, children often report seeing apparitions of family members who have passed on, usually in familiar spaces like the home, which they might still inhabit in some spiritual capacity. One notable story that mirrors the experience captured in El Medallia 31's video occurred in the 1970s, when a family living in Ohio reported that their 5-year-old daughter repeatedly saw the spirit of her grandmother. According to newspaper clippings from that time, the girl described her grandmother in vivid detail, right down to the floral dress she had been buried in. Despite the grandmother passing away several months prior, the young girl claimed her grandmother would sit on the edge of her bed and tell her stories at night. The parents were skeptical at first, but became convinced after noticing cold spots in the room and hearing unexplained footsteps in the hallway late at night. This case was written about in a 1978 edition of the Cleveland Plain Dealer, which interviewed the family about their experiences. Paranormal investigators were eventually brought in and reported an unexplained presence in the home, though they could not definitively conclude whether it was the spirit of the grandmother. Modern paranormal experiences in the digital age. In today's world, where nearly everyone carries a smartphone equipped with a camera, it's becoming easier to document unusual occurrences, much like the video posted by El Medallia 31. Social media platforms like TikTok have become treasure troves of eerie content, where users share ghostly encounters caught on film. Children, in particular, are often at the center of these stories, as their innocence and lack of preconceived notions about the afterlife make them more likely to accept and recount supernatural experiences without fear of ridicule. Numerous online forums, particularly in the paranormal community, have detailed modern stories of children seeing the spirits of their grandparents or even strangers who had once lived in their homes. One such case involved a 4-year-old boy from South Carolina who reportedly spoke regularly to his friend, a man named Henry. The boy's mother initially thought Henry was an imaginary friend until her son described him as an older man who wore old-fashioned clothes and liked to smoke a pipe. Upon further research, the mother discovered that a man named Henry had indeed lived in their home in the 1950s and had passed away in one of the bedrooms. This story, like many others, gained attention on various websites, and it has since been cited in several non-fiction books exploring children's sensitivity to the paranormal. The elderly woman in the cabinet. Could she be a ghost? Returning to El Medallia 31's video, the sight of the elderly woman in the cabinet has sparked widespread debate. Some argue that the image is a mere reflection or a case of pareidolia, a psychological phenomenon where the mind sees familiar shapes, like faces, in inanimate objects. However, many of the video's viewers are convinced that something supernatural was captured that day, especially given the clarity of the woman's smile. Several TikTok users commented that the elderly woman bore a striking resemblance to a family matriarch, potentially a grandmother or great-grandmother who had passed away. This type of apparition, a deceased relative returning to watch over their loved ones, is a theme commonly reported in ghost sightings. It's not uncommon for spirits of grandparents to visit their grandchildren in times of need or during vulnerable moments, offering comfort, much like they did in life. In fact, studies on paranormal experiences often reveal that many of these apparitions are perceived as benign, even protective. In one instance, reported in a 2005 issue of Fate magazine, a similar phenomenon occurred when a child claimed to see their deceased great-aunt regularly standing near the family's living room china cabinet. The child, who was just 7 years old at the time, described the figure as smiling and warm, much like the image in El Medallia 31's TikTok video. Despite the family's initial disbelief, the occurrences became more frequent, and the family eventually accepted that their home might be visited by a loved one from beyond the grave. Conclusion. As eerie as it may seem, the idea of children seeing ghosts, especially those of family members, is not as rare as one might think. From historical cases documented in newspapers to modern-day viral videos, these encounters continue to captivate and terrify in equal measure. Whether or not the elderly woman in El Medallia 31's TikTok video is truly a ghost remains a mystery. However, the possibility that the image is a benevolent spirit watching over the children adds another layer of intrigue to an already chilling story. Whether dismissed as mere reflections or embraced as real paranormal phenomena, such sightings fuel ongoing discussions about the mysteries of the afterlife and the thin veil that might separate us from those who have passed on. Cylindrical UFO. On a clear, partly cloudy day, a video emerged showcasing a strange cylindrical unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAP, hovering in the sky. The footage captured the anomaly with striking clarity. In the background, military jets could be seen flying above the airspace, but the UAP itself remained stationary, unaffected by the surrounding activity. This mysterious object had no visible wings, propellers, or any obvious form of propulsion, sparking both public curiosity and speculation. The cylindrical shape, often associated with UAP sightings, has been reported numerous times over the years, and the nature of this particular UAP led many to question its origin and purpose. The cylindrical UAP in question bears a resemblance to sightings reported in various parts of the world over the past few decades. Unlike the classic flying saucer shape that dominated public imagination for much of the 20th century, cylindrical UAPs have gained prominence in recent years due to a growing number of documented sightings. Witnesses often describe these objects as elongated, tubular, or cigar-shaped, with smooth metallic surfaces that reflect sunlight or seem to be made of an unknown material. These UAPs usually appear silent, showing no obvious signs of traditional propulsion systems like jet engines or rotors. In some cases, they are seen moving at incredible speeds, while in others, they hover silently in the sky, as was the case in this sighting. The history of cylindrical UAP sightings. Cylindrical UAPs have been documented in numerous accounts throughout history. Some of the earliest sightings date back to the late 19th century, when they were often referred to as airships. In fact, a notable series of sightings in the United States during the late 1800s described mysterious cigar-shaped craft, often observed at night with bright lights at either end. These early accounts, while lacking photographic evidence, bear striking similarities to modern sightings of cylindrical UAPs. In the 1950s, during the height of the Cold War and the burgeoning space race, cylindrical UAPs became more frequently reported. Some speculated that these sightings were linked to secret military projects or Soviet reconnaissance missions. However, as more sightings occurred around the world, many of which took place in remote areas far from military installations, the explanations grew more varied. Some suggested these objects were extraterrestrial in origin, while others proposed they were advanced technologies developed by unknown entities on Earth. In recent years, cylindrical UAPs have continued to appear in reports, with some notable sightings being documented by both civilian and military sources. In 2014 and 2015, U.S. Navy pilots flying off the coast of Virginia and Florida reported encounters with cylindrical UAPs that seemed to defy conventional physics. These objects were seen performing sudden accelerations, abrupt stops and turns, movements that no known aircraft could replicate. Speculation on the purpose of the cylindrical UAP. One of the biggest mysteries surrounding cylindrical UAPs is their purpose. Various theories have been proposed, ranging from surveillance to transportation to weaponry. Given the UAP's proximity to military jets in the video, some have speculated that these objects could be observing military activities. It's possible that they are unmanned reconnaissance devices, gathering data on human technology and defense capabilities. The silent and stationary nature of the UAP in this instance supports the idea of surveillance, as the object appeared to be monitoring the area without engaging or interacting with the jets. Some researchers have suggested that cylindrical UAPs could be advanced probes sent by extraterrestrial civilizations. If we consider the possibility of intelligent life beyond Earth, it stands to reason that they would send autonomous craft to observe other worlds before making direct contact. These cylindrical UAPs could be designed for long-distance space travel, with minimal moving parts to reduce mechanical failures. Their ability to hover and move at high speeds may indicate propulsion technologies far beyond our current understanding. Another theory is that cylindrical UAPs might serve as transport vessels. Their elongated shape could be designed to carry cargo, personnel, or even other smaller craft. In some sightings, witnesses have reported seeing smaller objects emerging from cylindrical UAPs, supporting the notion that these objects could act as motherships, housing smaller exploratory or defensive units. In military contexts, cylindrical UAPs have also been speculated to be advanced weapons platforms. The lack of visible propulsion and the ability to move in ways that defy our understanding of aerodynamics suggests that these objects could be utilizing technology we have yet to discover. Some have posited that the cylindrical UAP in the video might have been assessing or scanning the capabilities of the jets flying nearby, possibly testing their reaction times or the limits of human detection systems. Technological theories. The advanced capabilities of cylindrical UAPs have sparked a great deal of interest among scientists and engineers. Some believe that these objects could be employing anti-gravity or electromagnetic propulsion systems, allowing them to move without the need for traditional engines. The cylindrical shape itself might serve an aerodynamic function, reducing drag and allowing for more efficient movement through Earth's atmosphere. This theory is supported by the fact that these UAPs are often seen performing maneuvers that would generate extreme forces, which conventional aircraft would be unable to withstand. Another possibility is that these UAPs utilize a type of cloaking technology that renders them invisible to radar and infrared detection systems. Some witnesses have reported seeing cylindrical UAPs appear to shimmer or phase out of view, leading to speculation that they may be able to manipulate light and other forms of radiation. This would make them ideal for stealth missions, whether they are observing human activities or conducting covert operations, public reactions, and government involvement. The video of the cylindrical UAP quickly garnered attention from both UAP enthusiasts and skeptics alike. Some dismissed the object as a weather balloon or an optical illusion, while others pointed to the increasing number of credible sightings as evidence that something extraordinary is happening in our skies. Governments around the world have taken a more serious approach to UAP sightings in recent years, with the US Department of Defense even creating the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, UAPTF, to investigate reports like this one. In many cases, military personnel have been reluctant to speak openly about UAP sightings for fear of ridicule or professional consequences. However, as more videos like this one surface, it becomes increasingly difficult to dismiss these objects as mere misidentifications or hoaxes. The cylindrical UAP captured in this video adds to a growing body of evidence that suggests we may not be alone, or at the very least, that someone or something is observing us. In conclusion, the cylindrical UAP captured on video above the jets raises profound questions about the nature of these objects and their purpose. Whether they are extraterrestrial probes, advanced human-made craft, or something else entirely, the fact remains that cylindrical UAPs continue to baffle and intrigue both experts and the general public. As more sightings occur and more data is collected, we may one day learn the truth behind these enigmatic visitors. Until then, the mystery of the cylindrical UAP persists. Clear UFO at night. Unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, have long captured the imagination of people around the world. One such sighting, which occurred in a suburban neighborhood late at night, showcases a silver saucer-shaped craft hovering silently above the streets. The craft, bathed in the pale glow of the moon, exhibited features that have become common in many UAP sightings over the years, most notably its flashing, pulsating light and the regular clockwise spinning light along the circular edge of the craft. This particular encounter, filmed by a local resident, has reignited discussions surrounding the existence of extraterrestrial life and their potential visitations to Earth. The initial encounter. The footage begins with a serene night sky. It appears to be a quiet evening until the camera zooms in on the UAP hovering above the neighborhood. The craft itself is silver, reflecting the faint light from below, yet it has a strange metallic sheen that makes it seem otherworldly. What immediately grabs attention is the pulsating light on top of the craft, an intense, flashing light that brightens and dims rhythmically, casting a faint glow on the craft and the area beneath it. This pulsating light, a feature observed in many UAP sightings, has often been interpreted by witnesses and researchers as a potential signaling mechanism, though the true purpose remains unknown. Below this pulsating beacon, another striking feature emerges. A regular light moves along the circular edge of the craft, spinning in a clockwise direction. This spinning light, unlike the top pulsating light, is consistent in its motion, suggesting some form of mechanical or propulsion system at work. As the light spins, it creates an almost hypnotic effect, drawing the viewer's gaze into the rhythmic motion of the craft. Historical accounts of flying saucers. This particular sighting shares several characteristics with reports of flying saucers that date back decades. The iconic saucer shape, complete with flashing lights, has been described in numerous encounters, starting with the famous Kenneth Arnold sighting in 1947. Arnold, a private pilot, reported seeing 9 crescent-shaped objects flying in formation near Mount Rainier in Washington state. Though Arnold described the objects as resembling saucers skipping on water, his account is often credited with popularizing the term flying saucer. Since Arnold's sighting, there have been thousands of similar reports, many of which have described saucer-shaped crafts with glowing or spinning lights. For instance, in the 1950s, numerous sightings across the United States, particularly in the southwestern deserts, reported disc-shaped crafts with spinning lights that hovered silently before zipping away at incredible speeds. One of the more famous of these was the 1952 Washington, D.C. sightings, where radar operators and visual witnesses reported multiple saucer-shaped objects with bright lights performing impossible aerial maneuvers near the White House and Capitol. In some cases, such as the 1965 Kecksburg incident in Pennsylvania, a craft described as a saucer with strange hieroglyphic markings was seen crashing into the woods. Though it lacked the pulsating and spinning lights seen in the neighborhood sighting, it demonstrated the widespread nature of saucer-shaped UAP reports. The behavior of the saucer. In this neighborhood sighting, the saucer-shaped craft displayed characteristics that are often associated with UAPs seen at night. First and foremost is its ability to hover silently. Unlike conventional aircraft, which produce noticeable engine noise, this craft moved with eerie silence, giving no indication of propulsion or mechanical operation. Witnesses have often described UAPs as moving without sound, defying our understanding of flight technology. Additionally, the spinning light around the edge of the craft suggests a level of sophistication beyond known human engineering. This feature has been noted in other saucer sightings, where witnesses have described the lights as either rotating around the craft's edge or emitting beams that radiate outward in a circular pattern. Some researchers have speculated that these lights could be related to the craft's propulsion system, perhaps creating a type of anti-gravity field that allows the craft to maneuver effortlessly through the sky. Interestingly, the pulsating light on the top of the craft could be a form of communication or scanning device. In several historical UAP sightings, particularly those involving close encounters, witnesses have reported strange beams of light emanating from the craft, which seem to analyze the environment or even the witnesses themselves. For example, in the 1973 Pascagoula incident in Mississippi, two men claimed they were abducted by a craft that emitted a powerful, blinding light before taking them aboard. While no such abduction occurred in the neighborhood sighting, the presence of pulsating lights raises questions about the potential purpose of these UAP features. Nighttime UAP sightings in context. Flying saucers are often seen at night, a time when their lights are most visible against the dark sky. Several well-documented UAP sightings have taken place after sunset, with witnesses reporting glowing, spinning, or pulsating lights just like those seen in this recent footage. In 1980, during the Rendlesham Forest incident in England, military personnel stationed at nearby RAF Bentwaters claimed to have seen a glowing craft in the forest late at night. The object emitted beams of light and appeared to have a saucer-like shape, similar to the neighborhood sighting. While the Rendlesham Forest UAP eventually disappeared into the night, leaving behind only scorch marks and radiation traces, it remains one of the most compelling nighttime UAP cases. Similarly, in the Phoenix Lights incident of 1997, thousands of people across Arizona reported seeing a massive V-shaped craft with bright lights gliding silently over the city. Though the Phoenix Lights craft was not saucer-shaped, its size, glowing lights, and silent movement have drawn comparisons to classic saucer sightings, like the one recently filmed in the neighborhood. Many UAP sightings occur in remote areas, but urban and suburban sightings, such as this neighborhood encounter, are becoming increasingly common. With the rise of video-sharing platforms and smartphones, more sightings are being captured on camera, adding to the growing body of evidence, suggesting that these phenomena are real and widespread. Theories and speculation. While many remain skeptical of UAP sightings, suggesting that they may be the result of misidentified aircraft, drones, or natural phenomena, others believe that these encounters may represent something far more extraordinary. The saucer-shaped craft, in particular, is often associated with theories of extraterrestrial visitation due to its futuristic design and the advanced technology it seems to display. Some researchers have proposed that these craft could be advanced military projects utilizing technologies that are decades ahead of what is publicly known. However, the lack of any known propulsion systems, the ability to move silently, and the physics-defying maneuvers reported in many sightings challenge this explanation. Others believe that these UAPs are not of this world, but are instead visitors from distant planets or even other dimensions. The flashing and spinning lights seen on many saucer-shaped craft, including the one in the neighborhood sighting, may be a form of communication, navigation, or even a protective shield of some kind, designed to interact with Earth's atmosphere or the local environment in ways we cannot yet comprehend. Conclusion: the recent sighting of a silver, saucer-shaped UAP hovering over a suburban neighborhood continues a long tradition of flying saucer reports that stretch back decades. With its flashing, pulsating light and spinning edge light, this craft fits many of the classic descriptions found in historical accounts, adding yet another piece to the puzzle of the UAP phenomenon. Whether these craft are extraterrestrial in origin, the result of advanced human technology, or something else entirely, their presence in our skies remains one of the most fascinating mysteries of our time. Alien Grey at the Door. On September 30th, 2023, a TikTok video posted by user Olivia Twist Mysteries quickly garnered widespread attention. The video showed what many viewers believed to be a grey alien, a type of extraterrestrial often described in UFO sightings and abduction reports. The footage depicted a strange, humanoid figure peering through the screen door of a house, its large eyes blinking and mouth moving subtly. The detailed movement of the creature's facial features led many to speculate that it was not a mere person in a mask, but something far more unusual. Grey aliens, often referred to as greys or greys, have long been a prominent figure in UFO lore. Typically described as having large, oval-shaped eyes, smooth grayish skin, and slender bodies, they are among the most well-known and often depicted aliens in popular culture. Originating from a range of sources, from supposed UFO abduction cases to alleged government cover-ups, grey aliens have captivated the imagination of the public for decades. The TikTok video by Olivia Twist Mysteries brought this familiar creature back into the spotlight, sparking debate and speculation across social media platforms, forums, and even mainstream media outlets. The video itself shows the figure standing just behind the screen door of a home. Its head can be seen bobbing slightly as it looks in various directions, seemingly inspecting its surroundings. What struck viewers most was the realistic way in which the figure's eyes blinked and its mouth moved. These subtle actions made it appear almost lifelike, fueling theories that it might be an actual alien encounter rather than a hoax or a prank. Traditional masks or costumes often fail to capture such detail, and the fluidity of the creature's movements led to even more speculation. Many wondered if this was one of the rare instances where an alien was caught on camera, especially in such a direct and up-close manner. In fact, encounters with grey aliens peeking into homes have been documented before. Over the years, various reports, from eyewitness accounts in newspapers to detailed stories in books on the paranormal and extraterrestrial phenomena, have described similar incidents. One well-known account comes from a 1950s story in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, where a family claimed they were harassed by small, humanoid creatures with large eyes. Although these beings were later termed little green men, their descriptions bore a close resemblance to the greys seen in modern UFO reports. Another story surfaced in the early 2000s, when a family in rural Ohio reported seeing a gray alien standing outside their kitchen window late at night. The creature reportedly stared into the home, much like the one in the TikTok video, and remained motionless for several minutes before vanishing into the darkness. Such sightings, while often dismissed as hoaxes or misidentifications of animals or people, continue to be reported, especially in areas where UFO sightings are frequent. Books like Communion by Whitley Strieber and The Threat by David M. Jacobs delve into the phenomenon of alien abductions and encounters with gray aliens, providing deeper insights into the psychology and cultural impact of these experiences. Strieber's book, in particular, recounts his own experience with greys, where they reportedly entered his home during the night. Strieber described their ability to move silently and with an eerie grace, characteristics that align with the creature seen in the TikTok video. The prevalence of greys in abduction reports, along with their consistent physical appearance across different accounts, has led some researchers to theorize that these beings may be conducting a systematic study of human behavior. Newspapers and magazines have also reported on incidents where alleged aliens, including greys, were caught on camera. In 2019, a report in the New York Post covered a viral home security video that appeared to show a gray alien walking in a suburban neighborhood in California. The creature, with its unmistakable large eyes and lanky frame, was captured strolling past several houses before disappearing from view. Similarly, in 2015, a story in the Daily Mail detailed an incident where a motion-activated camera in Nevada recorded what some claimed was a gray alien sneaking around a backyard late at night. Adding to this phenomenon, numerous internet forums and websites dedicated to UFO research have compiled thousands of reports and sightings of gray aliens. Websites like MUFON, Mutual UFO Network, and Above Top Secret have vast archives of videos, photographs, and eyewitness testimonies from individuals who claim to have encountered these extraterrestrial beings. Many of these reports involve sightings near homes or in rural areas where greys are often seen watching from a distance or attempting to make contact. A common theme in these encounters is the feeling of being watched, with some witnesses reporting waking up to find gray aliens staring at them through windows or doors. In the case of the TikTok video, viewers immediately flooded the comments section with theories. Some believed that the creature might be a drone or puppet designed to resemble an alien, while others thought it could be a previously unknown animal or humanoid cryptid. Yet for many, the detailed movement of the creature's face, especially the blinking of its eyes and the subtle shifting of its mouth, suggested something more advanced, perhaps even organic. One theory proposed by UFO enthusiasts was that the creature in the video was a real gray alien engaged in a form of passive observation, a behavior frequently described in abduction accounts. The idea that aliens might observe humans in this manner without direct interaction ties into broader theories of extraterrestrial visitation. Some UFO researchers argue that greys are part of a larger extraterrestrial agenda, one that involves studying humanity from a distance without overt interference. This theory suggests that the creatures may be interested in our biological makeup or behavior, and that they might use advanced cloaking technology to observe us unnoticed, except for rare moments like the one captured in the TikTok video. Whatever the explanation behind the video, it reignited interest in the question of whether we are truly alone in the universe. While skeptics may point to the possibility of a hoax or clever editing, the lifelike qualities of the figure in the footage have continued to intrigue both believers and casual viewers. As with so many sightings before it, The truth may remain elusive, but the fascination with gray aliens and their potential presence on Earth shows no sign of fading anytime soon. New Jersey UFO. In recent years, unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP, more commonly known as UFOs, have become a topic of widespread fascination and concern. New Jersey, with its dense population and strategic location near major metropolitan areas like New York and Philadelphia, has been a hotspot for UFO sightings over the years. One of the more recent sightings captured on video occurred along a local roadway, where a mysterious flying craft was seen hovering low in the skyline. The footage shows several bystanders pulling over their vehicles, stepping out, and recording the strange sight on their cell phones. The sighting reignited public interest in UAPs in the region and prompted further discussion on the nature of these mysterious aerial objects. The video, which quickly went viral on social media, showcases a craft that appears to move deliberately, though with no visible propulsion system, and maintains a steady altitude just above the horizon. Its low altitude and slow movement seem to contradict what is typically expected of conventional aircraft. Many eyewitnesses in the video can be heard expressing their disbelief, with one exclaiming, "What is that thing?" Others speculate on the origin of the object, with theories ranging from extraterrestrial to military technology. This incident is far from the first time New Jersey has been the site of a UFO sighting. Historically, the state has been home to a number of notable encounters, some of which have been widely reported in newspapers, books, and magazines dedicated to UFO phenomena. One of the most famous incidents occurred on July 14, 1952, when a UFO was sighted near Fort Dix and McGuire Air Force Base. This case involved both civilian and military witnesses, including airmen who reported seeing a metallic object performing maneuvers that were far beyond the capabilities of any known aircraft at the time. The case remains one of the most perplexing in New Jersey's history, with numerous books and articles written about it. Another well-known sighting occurred in 2001, when a V-shaped formation of lights was seen by hundreds of people over the New Jersey Turnpike. This sighting received extensive media coverage, and many speculated that the lights belonged to an unknown aircraft or a group of UFOs flying in formation. Skeptics proposed that the lights could have been flares or some other natural phenomenon, but witnesses were adamant that what they saw was a structured craft. This event was one of several mass sightings in the early 2000s that reignited interest in UFOs, leading to increased investigations by both amateur and professional ufologists. The state's connection to UFO sightings dates back even further. In the 1960s and 1970s, a number of UFO flaps, periods of increased sightings, were reported in various parts of New Jersey, often making headlines in local newspapers. These sightings included everything from glowing orbs to cigar-shaped objects, with witnesses describing behaviors that defied the laws of physics. Some of these sightings were investigated by government agencies, including the U.S. Air Force's Project Blue Book, though no conclusive explanations were ever provided. In addition to these historical accounts, the more recent sighting captured on video in New Jersey follows a similar pattern of mysterious behavior and public intrigue. The craft, unlike traditional aircraft, did not emit any sound and had no visible wings or propellers. It seemed to defy gravity as it hovered, with some witnesses describing it as if it were suspended in mid-air. The video footage itself is grainy, typical of cell phone recordings, but it clearly shows the object's strange movement across the sky, with no obvious explanation for its origin. Local news outlets quickly picked up on the story, with many people in the community offering their own theories. Some speculated that the object could be a drone, though its size and the lack of noise seemed to suggest otherwise. Others wondered if the craft could be part of a secret military operation, noting New Jersey's proximity to several military bases. However, there was no official confirmation from the government or military authorities regarding the sighting, leaving its true nature open to speculation. The New Jersey UFO sighting has also garnered attention in the world of UFO research. Several ufologists have pointed out similarities between this sighting and others around the world, particularly in the way the craft moved and its apparent lack of conventional propulsion. Some researchers believe that the object could be an example of advanced technology, either extraterrestrial or human-made, while others suggest that it may be part of a larger trend of UAP sightings that have been increasing in frequency over the past decade. Various non-fiction books and magazines dedicated to the study of UFOs have covered the sighting, placing it within the broader context of UAP phenomena. One such publication, UFOs Over America, highlights New Jersey as a particularly active area for sightings, with dozens of reports filed each year. The book details similar sightings, including a 1983 incident in which a glowing, triangular craft was seen over the Pine Barrens, an area known for its history of strange occurrences and paranormal activity. Online forums and websites dedicated to UFO sightings have also been abuzz, with theories and discussions about the New Jersey incident. Some users have compared the sighting to the infamous Phoenix Lights event in 1997, where thousands of people across Arizona reported seeing a massive, silent craft with lights moving slowly across the night sky. Others have drawn parallels to the more recent Tic Tac UFOs seen by U.S. Navy pilots, which have been the subject of much debate and investigation by both the military and civilian researchers. While no official explanation for the New Jersey sighting has been provided, the incident remains a topic of interest for those who study the UFO phenomenon. The U.S. government in recent years has begun taking UAP sightings more seriously, with the establishment of the UAP Task Force and the release of several high-profile reports on the subject. These reports have acknowledged the existence of unidentified objects in U.S. airspace, but have stopped short of offering any definitive answers about their origin or purpose. For the people who witnessed the event on that New Jersey roadway, however, the sighting was a once-in-a-lifetime experience that left them with more questions than answers. As the video continues to circulate online and more people share their own stories of UFO sightings, the mystery of what exactly was seen in the skies over New Jersey remains unsolved, adding to the growing body of evidence that we may not be alone in the universe. UFO in Brazil. On July 7, 2024, an unusual and mesmerizing event took place in the city of Curitiba, Brazil, captivating both locals and online audiences around the world. A saucer-shaped unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAP or UFO, was spotted in the grayish skies over the bustling streets of this southern Brazilian city. The object appeared bluish in color and hovered silently above the urban landscape, defying conventional explanation. The video footage of the event, captured on a smartphone camera, quickly went viral, reigniting debates about extraterrestrial life and unexplained aerial phenomena. The video begins with a shot of the cloudy skies over Curitiba, a city known for its vibrant culture and modern architecture. As the camera pans upward, a strange bluish object comes into view. The object is clearly saucer-shaped, a classic UFO design often depicted in both science fiction and historical UFO sightings. Its surface appears to emit a faint glow, which contrasts sharply with the dull gray clouds surrounding it. The craft moves slowly at first, hovering over the city before it accelerates at an incredible speed, vanishing from sight. The entire incident lasted only a few minutes, but it left an indelible mark on those who witnessed it. UFO sightings are not new to Brazil, a country with a long history of unexplained aerial encounters. Brazil has been a hotspot for UFO activity for decades, with numerous sightings documented in newspapers, books, and internet forums. The country's most famous UFO case is perhaps the Virginia incident of 1996, often referred to as Brazil's Roswell. In this case, multiple witnesses reported seeing a strange creature in the town of Virginia after a UFO was sighted crashing nearby. The incident involved local police, military personnel, and civilian witnesses, and although it remains shrouded in mystery, it has become a staple of UFO lore in Brazil. Curitiba, the site of the 2024 sighting, is no stranger to UFO activity either. Several sightings have been reported in the Paraná region, where Curitiba is located. In 1954, the city experienced one of its earliest recorded UFO incidents when multiple witnesses claimed to have seen strange lights in the sky, moving erratically before disappearing. In the decades since, reports of unidentified flying objects have surfaced sporadically in the area, with many describing objects similar to the one seen in July 2024. As the video of the Curitiba sighting spread across social media platforms, it garnered attention from both UFO enthusiasts and skeptics. Many were quick to point out the similarities between this sighting and previous UFO reports from around the world. The saucer shape, the glowing lights, and the object's ability to move at incredible speeds all fit the description of classic UFO encounters, adding weight to the belief that this might be a genuine extraterrestrial craft. Others, however, suggested more mundane explanations, such as advanced military technology or a sophisticated drone, though no official source came forward to claim responsibility. Interestingly, the 2024 sighting also coincided with a surge in UAP reports globally. In recent years, UFO sightings have become more widely discussed, especially following the declassification of US government reports on UAPs. These reports, which were released by the Pentagon in 2021, acknowledged that many of the sightings by military personnel could not be easily explained, fueling speculation about the existence of advanced extraterrestrial technology. The Curitiba sighting seemed to fit within this larger context of unexplained aerial phenomena, raising questions about whether such occurrences were becoming more frequent or if public awareness had simply increased. Brazilian media outlets picked up the story, with major newspapers and television channels running segments on the sighting. Ufology groups in Brazil, which have long studied the country's UFO history, were quick to investigate. These groups, including the Brazilian UFO magazine, one of the most prominent publications dedicated to the topic, interviewed witnesses and analyzed the video footage for authenticity. According to their preliminary findings, the footage did not appear to be doctored, lending further credibility to the sighting. However, without physical evidence, definitive conclusions could not be reached. In addition to the Curitiba sighting, other notable UFO incidents in Brazil have been reported throughout the years. One of the earliest and most well-documented cases occurred in 1977, known as Operation Saucer, Operação Prato, where the Brazilian Air Force investigated a series of UFO sightings and alleged attacks on people in the Amazonian region of Colares. Witnesses claimed to have seen flying saucers emitting beams of light, which caused burns and other injuries to those who came into contact with them. The Brazilian military collected photographs, reports, and interviews from locals, although much of the information was classified for years. When it was eventually released, it confirmed that something unusual had been happening in the region, though the true nature of the phenomena remains a subject of debate. More recently, in 2020, another high-profile sighting took place in Magé, a city near Rio de Janeiro. Witnesses reported seeing bright lights in the sky, which they described as glowing orbs that moved in unison before disappearing. Videos of the incident quickly spread across social media, drawing comparisons to other UFO sightings in Brazil. Despite the widespread attention, no official explanation was provided, leaving many to speculate about the possibility of extraterrestrial activity. The July 2024 sighting in Curitiba adds to this long list of mysterious encounters. While skeptics may argue that the sighting could be explained by natural phenomena or human-made technology, the persistent lack of concrete answers keeps the door open to more extraordinary explanations. In many ways, the Curitiba incident reflects a global shift in how UAPs are perceived. What was once considered a fringe topic is now being taken more seriously by both governments and the public. As technology advances and more data becomes available, it is possible that sightings like the one in Curitiba will eventually lead to a better understanding of these enigmatic phenomena. For now, the July 2024 sighting remains an open case, fueling speculation and curiosity. Whether it was a glimpse of advanced technology, either human or alien, or something else entirely, it has left an impact on the people of Curitiba and those who seek answers to the enduring question: are we alone in the universe? With Brazil's rich history of UFO sightings and the growing interest in UAP research, it seems likely that this will not be the last time the skies over Curitiba and the world will witness something extraordinary.